Welcome everyone to episode 140 of EDH Commander Challenge. I'm your host, BT, and it's time for another quarterfinal match of our second ever EDHCC Undisputed Championship Tournament. Last week we saw our defending champion Greg triumph over Jason in a very good match to take one of the 4 spots in the semifinals. Today we have Goblin Hordes versus Team Unblockable as Gemi and Josh L take the stage. Who will take spot number 2 in the semifinals? Also, don't forget, if our subscriber count reaches 1,700 before the end of the finals, I'll be doing another giveaway. Without any further ado, let's check out those opening hands. First, in this corner, with an opening hand of 3 islands, Deadeye Quartermaster, Ichor-Clawmere, Lightning Greaves, Trepanation Blade, and his mono blue general Tetsuko Umezawa Fugitive. He is the unpredictable Gemi. Next, in this corner, with an opening hand of 3 mountains, Ruby Medallion, Extra Planar Lens, Chrome Mox, Empty the Warrens, and his mono red general Krenko Mob Boss. He is the Killswitch engaged. This is Josh L. Josh from the dice roll to start us off, so let's begin yet another quarterfinal card fight. For their first turns, Josh starts off strong, casting Chrome Mox, exiling his Empty the Warrens. Then he plays a mountain and casts Ruby Medallion, making his red spells cheaper. While Gemi plays an island. Josh plays a basic and casts Extra Planar Lens, imprinting a mountain to double his mana, and passes. Gemi plays a basic and casts Wharf Infiltrator, and passes. Josh plays a basic and casts both his general, Krenko Mob Boss, and Legion Loyalist, before passing. Gemi plays a basic and casts both his general, Tetsuko Umezawa, and Bone Splitter. Then he moves into combat and pokes Josh with his now unblockable Infiltrator. Its trigger allows Gemi to loot, drawing and discarding a card before passing the turn. Josh plays a basic and casts Goblin Warchief, making his goblin spells cheaper and gain haste. Although I do think he forgot exactly how much mana he has and how cheap his spells should be currently. Anyway, next he taps Krenko to make 3 1/1 Goblin tokens. Then he moves into combat and attacks Gemi with them. Gemi blocks and kills one with his general and takes the other 2 pokes before Josh passes. Gemi plays a basic and casts Necropede. Then he equips his splitter to his Infiltrator, and he moves into combat and attacks Josh while again being unblockable thanks to Tetsuko. Josh takes 3 damage, and as a result, Gemi gets to loot again with his Infiltrator's trigger. Then in his second main phase, he moves the splitter to his Necropede before passing. Knowing now that he has a maximum of 4 turns to live at this point, Josh casts Vanquisher's Banner, calling goblins. Then he taps Krenko to make 5 more Goblin tokens. Then he moves into combat and attacks Gemi with his 7 Goblin tokens and his Loyalist, which thanks to its effect, all gain first strike and trample until the end of the turn. Gemi chooses to declare no blocks and takes a massive 16 damage. Then Josh passes. Gemi plays a basic and states he may win the game right now. and casts Trepanation Blade, which he then equips to his Necropede. Then he moves into combat and attacks Josh with both the Infiltrator and Necropede. The blade triggers, and Josh reveals his top card, for which D&D players would call this a critical failure for Gemi, as it's a land. Thus, the blade only grants the Necropede +1/+0 until the end of turn, and though both his creatures are still unblockable, Josh avoids death, taking 4 Infect and 1 regular damage. Gemi doesn't bother to loot, and sadly has to surrender the game to Josh, knowing that with 1 lone blocker, he can't survive the onslaught of a potential 17 2/2 goblins coming for him next turn.
You win.
Poor Gemi. He tried to pull something similar to a Tem from Yu-Gi-Oh's Berserker Soul Monster Cardo kill that you saw him do to Weevil on Josh with that Trepanation Blade, which, in a fair assessment, is a powerhouse card to have in this kind of Infect build. It even sees play in some mill decks. He only needed 7 cards off the top of Josh's deck to not be lands, and hey, you gotta admit, if that had succeeded, it could have been the craziest OTK comeback ever. Josh came out strong with his mana power, and technically could have cast Krenko as early as his 2nd turn. But the only card outside of Krenko that really mattered for him this game was Vanquisher's Banner. Josh never got to draw any cards with it, but that all-important +1/+1 to all his goblins made his army too fast, too furious, and too loud for Gemi to handle. Agree with our picks? Let us know in the comments down below. Also, if you enjoy our content, consider becoming a patron. Give you access to some sweet bonuses while helping out the channel at the same time. Please continue to support us on our journey to 2,000 family members. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this week's episode. If you're a fan of EDH gameplay and you like whether it be 1v1 or multiplayer and you want to be part of the ever-growing Commander Challenge family, just make sure you smash the subscribe button and notification bell down below. We do weekly videos. Don't forget as well to like, comment, share our videos, but most importantly, enjoy them. On behalf of all of our members here, I'm your host, BT. Feel free to check out all of the videos in the channel, join our game, it's now your turn. Cheers!